Okay, our beloveds, so today we are going to take a diversionary path from our normal meet us where you are at. And instead, today we are going to point out where you can choose to grow through your own mistakes. So, when you make a mistake, as you would define it, a decision which does not work out in your favor as you desired, rather than going to a place of extreme anger or frustration or limitation, we encourage you to see that particular event as a gift, as a marker to show you how it doesn't work, why it doesn't work, and how it would have been easier or better to navigate through your journey, to figure out if you could do it again, how would you do it next time? Your design flaw became apparent, and now you are just simply being called to course correct. How would you have done it differently? Why would you have done it differently? Because what you all fail to understand, the why explains the how's failure. If you are designing a mousetrap that is designed to kill a mouse, right? But instead you create a poisonous path for others, do you think that your mousetrap is well designed when you may or may not kill the actual mouse, which is your ego, but instead you attempt to poison all of the other egos in the neighborhood? Which is best, to kill the ego of someone else or to kill your own, if you will? And it is not really to kill it, it is to harness it and to manage it as your ego gets you out of bed and gets things done. But when your ego is unrestrained and is desiring to kill others, other choices, other motives, other desired outcomes, when you try to control the outcome of the actions of others, you're not focusing on your own path. And while it all interacts and interrelates and intertwines and intercoordinates, it is nonetheless our message today that you not get angry when your path or plan did not work out as you had desired, but instead to look at it and say, where was I not love? Where was I too controlling? Where was I missing the overall objective, which is collaborative communication? And if you were still trying to work in the old energetic imprint, you're going to find more and more limitations in your outcome because the energy really no longer supports such endeavors. It may, in the short run, support you not running out of gas to your point of destination, but it will no longer actually support your destination, if that makes sense. You may get or arrive at your destination, but your destination may not be the destination that you had envisioned it to be. It may be a bit of the bait and switch approach now, where you get there expecting a beautiful structure, and it is actually shingles and rotting wood with no flooring, no heat, no windows that function or operate, and a rat-infested home. but you saw a photo on the internet which showed it quite differently, and that is where you pointed your navigation point towards. So here is what we are trying to say today. Don't be unkind and don't be ruthless. Do set healthy boundaries, create a wonderful structure for you, but don't do it to harm another. Do it to protect you, if that makes sense. When you create your mousetrap, do it in order to help you to figure out who you desire to be, who you desire to express yourself outwardly and inwardly, to leave others to express themselves as they see fit, and then simply allowing us, the universe, to guide you on your river of life to each and every destination, which is there to help you to refine your process. Your failures are the greatest gift because they remind you where you are not love in one sense or another. Now, this is obviously in the energetic world and not so much in the professional world where you are literally designing a mousetrap. But the analogy applies nonetheless. Your failures at expressing yourself as love are where your greatest lessons will come in the coming months and years, because that is the vast difference in the vibration that you are moving into, and how the universe will no longer support that competitive beating someone into submission approach. It is going to take time for the individuals on this planet to learn this new vibration, and we will work with you so long as your intentions are there. If your intentions are there but the actions don't align perfectly yet, your vibration is what will matter, and we will gently bump you off of those areas where it doesn't really align. However, where your intentions are not pure, we will run you more into a cement wall to teach you that that path is no longer sustainable. And your anger that results from it is actually anger at your own lack of initiative to change into a more loving being, but you are unable to see it because you are still lost in the weeds. But this message is for those people who have a sense of a shift or a change on the horizon, and who desire or wish to move into this new vibration. And those who are not, again, as always, there is no judgment. Just know that your path will be fraught with pain and suffering much of the time until your soul feels heard. You are here to have whatever life lesson you are here to express. But if at some point your life lesson becomes apparent to you, and you can step out of that particular aspect of your lesson and go through the revolving door into a different space, you will find much greater joy as you move into a new life lesson, because the one that you have been circling around in has finally been incorporated, and you have moved out of that space and are simply moving into the next one, into the next revolving door and the next one. You could maybe see them just as a series of chakras lining up, and you just work through the first one, which is your root chakra, then your second, which is your sacral, your third, which represents your ability to collaboratively communicate with others and not to bow down before others, nor to control or abuse others. Your fourth is your heart chakra, which is your ability to share love with others as well as receive love from others. Your throat chakra is the one that is the expression of you. Do you feel like you are fully presenting yourself through the words that you say, through the actions that you take, through the clothing that you wear, through the decisions that you get to make? Are you really a full expression of yourself? And where you are not, why not? Your sixth chakra is your, to a certain extent, your intuitive one, because it connects you to your third eye, which is the unseen energies. And when you work through this revolving door, it helps you to connect to the intuitive piece more so than the mind, which is attached to the ego, if that makes sense. The ego is the piece that controls you through logic and fear, and the intuitive piece is that which connects you to the creative aspect of you, which goes back to the sacral. And then there is the seventh, which is your crown chakra, and that is your connection to the divine. So this is just a general walk through your chakras and how, as you go through each revolving door, you will get to move higher and higher in this ascensionary plane. And for those of you who were still stuck in a fear model, that means that you are at the first or the root chakra, and you need to find a way where you can feel safe and protected and cared for and nurtured by this universe. And if you can't master that lesson, all of the other lessons are out of reach for now, because you yourself don't feel safe and loved and respected by the universe, if that makes sense. So we invite you all to look at where you find yourselves in these revolving doors and what lessons it is that you are currently being asked to explore. And that will tell you much of where you are in your ascensionary process. If you don't trust that you are safe, it's very difficult to be creative. It is very difficult to communicate collaboratively with other people because you still have so much fear. It's difficult either to give love or to receive love because you don't believe that the universe will protect and care for you, which is that unconditional love. Your fifth chakra would not be well expressed because, again, it is through an approach of controlling those around you in order to create a sense of safety, and that is not safety, and so that means that you will not be expressing yourself in a manner that really honors who the real you is. That means you're also working in mind and not in the intuitive space. And lastly, there's very little divine energy and creativity flowing through you because you are so fear-based and don't trust that the universe or the divine will care for you in all of your circumstances. So if you can look at your failures, your mistakes, your faux pas as wonderful opportunities to regroup, reprogram those subconscious programs that don't support you to move to the next level. If you can find that, you will find that there is more bliss and ease in your journey as you navigate forward. And if you don't, you will continue to be stuck in that spin cycle where you find yourselves right now. And at some point, hopefully in this lifetime, you will move into the next level. And if you don't, you will get another lifetime or many lifetimes in order to repeat these lessons. They're not easy to master, so we don't want you all to think that you snap your finger and it happens. It is literally a lifelong journey to get from where you are to a higher point. And you get to determine the level of pain and comfort or bliss and ease and joy that you encounter based on your resistance to where your soul wishes to take you, or you're surrendering into the mystery of the unknown. It's really simple when you look at it from our perspective, as it's only energy. But we realize you, for the most part, do not have the luxury of the sight that we have, and therefore you continue to try to beat each other over the head with clubs as the cavemen did, because you don't realize that you are ascending into a more refined human being. You have been a human doing who needed to do in order to survive. Now you're moving into the energy of the human being. And this will allow you to manifest and create through the creativity within your intentions, more so than through your fear-based actions upon which much of your societal paradigms have been based. So we wish you a blessed Saturday. Until next time. And so it is. Namaste.